In this video, we are going to go over Tradingview. Tradingview is one of the most robust charting platforms out there. The best part is that there is a free version, so a lot of traders use this software, and this is something that you can use for free at the beginning, and if you want to upgrade to have additional features, you can go ahead and upgrade. So first things first, you will go to tradingview.com, and then you will click Get Started in the upper right hand corner. You'll see the different plans that they have. There's different features for every one, but also there is this free basic. I highly suggest just starting with the free basic. After you have signed up, you will see your Tradingview chart. And on this chart, there's a lot of things going on, but I'm going to break it down top to bottom and give you the basics of Tradingview that really it's all you need. However, you can go as crazy as you want and dive deeper and deeper to what best suits you and your trading strategy. So first things first is you're going to want to decide what you are trading. So if you go to the top left, you will see the symbol search. This is the first step to looking at what you would like to trade. So say we want to trade, let's just say Apple. What I can do is I can type in the ticker for Apple, and there you will go. You'll see on the NASDAQ, you can click Apple. So here we have Apple. You can see the chart is now pulled up. This is on the daily view, but let's go ahead and quickly search for another pair. Let's kind of go through the different asset classes. So that was stocks. Say we want to look at the indices. So if I want to look at some of the indices, you can actually, sometimes it's easier to just use these headers above. And then there we go. We can see the S&P 500 E-mini futures. This is on the daily chart as well. The ticker is ES exclamation mark. And then say we want to look up some crypto. Say we want to trade Bitcoin. We know BTC is the ticker. And then you want to know what you want to trade it against. So say we want to trade against the US dollar. We can then go to the US dollar. So there it is on Bitstamp. Now just breaking this down here in the Tradingview screen, you'll see your symbol. So you'll see the asset that you want to trade. That'll be the first pair, so BTC, and then you'll see the pair that it's been trading against. So that's the dollar. So United States dollars. I could change that to GBP. So there we go. If I want to trade Bitcoin against the Great British Pound, we could do that as well. And then across, you'll see there's the description, and then you have the different exchanges that these are listed on. So say I wanted to go back to the Bitcoin US dollar, and I'm trading on Coinbase, I can actually see the live data from Coinbase. But if you can't see the exact broker, that's okay. Just use one of the more popular brokers. Typically, they have deeper liquidity, and the price is going to reflect a more true price. So say we want to look at maybe a Forex pair. We go USD, JPY. So here we go, a common Forex pair, USD, JPY. So I hope that helps finding your pairs. In this example, let's just go ahead and use the S&P 500 E-mini futures. So like I mentioned before, right now, this is highlighted as D, which means this is the one-day chart. The default chart that's on here is the bar chart. What is this? Yeah, candlestick chart. So you'll see right here, candles. If I wanted to change it to a line graph, I can just switch to line. There's other different candles here like Heikin-Ashi. You can do columns, a bunch of different chart types, but I typically just use candles. And since this is the daily chart, each one of these candles will represent 1 day of trading activity, of price action. If I go to the 4-hour, every candle now represents 4 hours of trading. The 1 hour, etc. So we'll go back to the daily. And now let's talk about how these charts work. So the way these charts work is on the x-axis, you have your dates. So we have 2022, February, March, April, May. If I use the scroll bar, I can scroll in. And also, if I use my mouse, I can drag up and down the scaling of this. So I can drag the price. Also, I can drag the time. And you can use your scroll bar on your mouse as well. One thing that's sometimes nice is you can use down in the right-hand corner this auto button. Might be cut out by my photo a little bit. If I click auto, it gives me a little bit of an adjusted scale, but you can turn that off if you would like and just drag the bottom and top. Okay, so now that you know how to scale in and out and zoom in and out, this is how you will see the price versus time on a chart. So if I look at a certain candlestick, let's take today, or actually let's take one day before because it's complete. So if I just hover over this, you can see at the bottom this is July 22nd, 2022. And if I look at the top here, if I just hover over that, you can see the open, the high, the low, and the close of the candle. So the open is 39.88, the high is 40.16, the low is 39.41, the close is 39.65. And the candlestick will show exactly that as well. So since this is a red candle, this is actually kind of a, I'm going to grab a different pair that's a little bit smoother here. Okay, here we go. So we have Bitcoin. So yesterday, you can see that the price closed for Bitcoin at 22,579, and then it opened today at the same price. And then you'll see that there is wicks here. So if we go back to the prior day, this is the range of the day. So the low being 22,242, and the high being 30.17. And then you have the open at the bottom here and the close at the top. So for bullish candles, the close will be higher than the open. For bearish candles, these are the red, the close will be lower than the open. The range is the wicks, and then the body is the open and close. So that's all we're going to go into when it comes to candlestick charts right now. Really, we want to go over the different features of Tradingview. So again, if we scroll to the right here, we can make it a line graph, or we can just keep it a candlestick chart. If we go over one more, we will get to the Indicators tab, and you'll be able to look at different indicators. If I go to Technicals, you'll see all these different technicals. For example, if you want to put on Bollinger Bands, you can click it, and there we go. We have Bollinger Bands created on our chart right now, and they are noted up here. You can actually go in, if I click the settings, and you can modify the settings here. You can modify the length, the source, the standard deviation, etc. And if you want to close and take away this indicator, you just click the X. Say we go into the indicators again, we can look at different ones. What's a very common indicator? Let's see. Moving average, very common indicator. Let's click that. It's right here. You can see the moving average line. Right now, if I go into settings, the length is 9. Say I want to make it our 200 daily moving average. We can do that. So it's now 200. I can go into the style, and I can maybe change the color of this. So I want to make it gold. Say I want to increase the size of the line, and I can click OK. So there it is. So if I scroll back in, zoom back in, we can see now our 200-day moving average is on our chart, our Bitcoin chart. Okay, so that's indicators. So we have our pairs, our time frames, our chart layouts, our chart types, our indicators. There's also strategies that you can look at, candlestick patterns. There's a lot of stuff you can look at here for the indicators. Not necessary, but they're more tools to have. All right, so let's keep going across the top here. Let's look at alerts. So a lot of times you might want to create an alert. Say you know that you want to take a sell on or look for sells for Bitcoin when it reaches, say, 28,500. Say it reaches this level of resistance here, potential resistance. I can now create an alert by clicking the alert button. You'll see my pair. You'll see crossing. There's different ways that the condition can be. So this will be crossing. You can do crossing up, down, less than. You have our value. So if we wanted to make that 28,500, so there we go, 28,500. You can have it alert you only once or every time. You can have different notifications. You can have an expiry time if you would like. You can have it notify you on the app, email. You can then type in an alert, so look for shorts maybe, and then Bitcoin crossing 28,500. Boom. So created. So now we have this alert that is created. It's here on the chart. And now you don't have to look at your chart all day. You will now get that alert sent to your TradingView in your alerts panel over here. So if I go into my alerts panel, I know we kind of skipped a little bit, but we have alerts up here. Scroll all the way to the right and down. We have our alerts panel right down there. And you can see our alert. We can even edit our alert if we would like to. We could cancel our alert. And if your alert sets off, it'll be here in the alerts log. So what we're going to do here is remove that alert for now. Okay, keep going down the top. Bar replay. This is how you replay candles. So say you want to cut off the price right where it touches the 200-day moving average. So let's go ahead and do that again. Click replay, and you can use this to chop off the future price history. And now I've cut it off to where I can look and play out past data bar by bar. So if I click this arrow here, every time I click, it prints a new bar, and I can test out different strategies. So that's pretty nice to use. You can also just have it play on its own. And then if you need to reset it, you can use the jump to and jump to a different area of the chart. And then you can exit out just using the X button. So continuing across the top here, here's our undo button. Then we have our chart name. So this is an unnamed chart. If you want to name it something different, you can just go down here and click rename. We can do this as demo. And then we can save that in, and there we go. We have demo. You have your search, your chart settings. You can do full screen mode, and then you can take snapshots of your chart as well. If I click this, you can see you can save your chart image. You can copy the chart image. You can send somebody the link of your chart image. You can publish it to TradingView if you would like. So overall, that is the top side. Next thing we're going to do is just go into customizing your chart. Personally, I like to customize my chart, to something that feels good for me, something that I can see very easily, something that doesn't play with my emotions. So if I go either to the settings, or if I right-click on my chart and click settings, I can now change up my chart. So from top to bottom, we have our symbols here. We got our candles we can change here. So we got our body, say you like blue for your bullish candles. And say you like, let's say, purple for your bearish candles. You can change the borders, same thing, blue, purple, blue, purple. Oops, purple. And then if I click OK, you can see now the candles have changed. If you don't like that, you can go ahead and say change this to something that makes sense. So what we're going to do here, so let's go ahead and change these to white. If I click OK, well, clearly I can't see that white candle, but what I could do is if I go to appearance and I find the background, I can now change my background black, which I really like, and then I can see my white candles better. Personally, I like black charts. They sometimes help me, but you will go ahead and find what works for you. Scales text, we'll have to make that white so that we can see it. Sometimes people like grid lines, but personally I don't, so I'll put those off. And then, let's see here. Let's go light blue so it's easier to see. Cool. So now we have our chart. It's customized. You can customize it more if you would like, but sometimes that is beneficial. Keeps you interested. Also can remove some psychology. Sometimes people don't like green and red candles. Okay, so now that we've customized our chart, let's go ahead and let's go to our toolbar on the left-hand side so we can learn how to use some of these tools. So I'm going to remove our moving average. We'll remove our volume too. So it's just a nice and clean chart. So the first thing you're going to see is your pointer. You can either have a dot, an arrow, there's an eraser as well. I just use the cross. It's nice because you can see the crosshairs of the price and the time. So right where I'm at, it's at April 11th, 2022, and 37,505 is the price. And then if we go down, we're now into our lines. These are all of our trend line tools. So you'll see from top to bottom, different styles of trendline tools. I'll just give you some of the basic ones. The one that's very common is our trend line. So if I click this, I can now have a tool to where, say I click at the top of a trend and I want to start connecting my trend line, I can go ahead and drag that down. So there we go. I've just drawn a downtrend. Say I want to draw this uptrend here. I can do the same thing, get my swing low, and then connect my lows. Just quick little lesson. The key for a trend line, usually they say 2 touches minimum. So at 1 touch, bring this up just a hair. 2 touch, but the more touches that you get, the stronger your trend line is. So that'll be your trend lines. The next one you can do is maybe an arrow. Say you want to point to something. Very straightforward there. The next one I'm going to show is our horizontal line and horizontal ray, because trend lines and support and resistance are kind of the main ways that most people mark up charts. So if you want to do a flat line without having to deal with perfectly marking up that trend line, you can use these horizontal lines. So say I want to create this level of support here that I see. So there's this nice swing low there. Well, there we go. I did the horizontal line. We have a touch of support, support. Now it's resistance, and then breaking through support again. And then say you want to draw, let's go on a smaller time frame here, the support with the horizontal line. It's pretty much the same thing, but the horizontal will go both ways. We'll go back and forth. Sometimes it's nice to see if there's any support in the back somewhere. So there we go. We have resistance here, resistance, resistance, break, resistance testing as support. Very, very cool stuff now that we use that big horizontal line. It's identified that this zone at this 40,800 mark is very, very powerful. It's very significant. All right, the next one we're going to go to is our Fibonacci tool. Now, if you are new, I would hold off on this one. This is definitely a little more advanced. But the Fibonacci tool, I'll remove all my indicators. And just to go back to that, this trash bin here removes all of your drawings. Okay. So if we want to use the Fibonacci tool, you can click here. There's tons of different fib retracement tools. There's pitchforks, fib channels, fib zones, fib circles, everything Fibonacci. Definitely, this is something more advanced, but we'll go over just 2 of these. First is the fib retracement. This is going to let you know different areas, significant areas that the market might retrace to before maybe a rally. So if I go from swing low, the bottom of the market here for Bitcoin, to swing high, I can now see the different zones in the market. You can see this, that this 786 zone has been respected, then the 618 is respected, then the 5 is respected, then the 38.2, then the 2. So this Fibonacci tool just helps you get standardized zones. So common rejection zones are going to be your 618, 786, and 886. You can see here all the way through the swing high the swing low to swing high. The biggest rejection point was this 886. That's where you could have gotten a decent push in the market. Same deal. If we go from high here, swing high, to swing low, so we went from this high to this low, swing high to swing low. You can see as well, that these zones are being respected. And the big rejection zone is at that 618. The 618 is the most common. You can see a nice shorting opportunity right off of that 618. Okay. Next tools I will go over are the drawing tools. So these are geometric shapes. These are the shape patterns. The first one in our geometric shapes is our brush. I just use that. So if I click my brush, I can now just draw onto the chart. So that one's really nice if you just want to make circles, just freehand drawings. We can delete those out of there. There's a highlighter, then the rectangle. A rectangle is one I really like. Often rectangles are used for marking up ranges in the market. So here is a little bit of a range in the market. What I can do is I can draw up this range. And of course you want 2 touches at least. We have our 3 touches, then we have 2 touches. And look at this, when this range was broken, we have a huge breakdown of the market. So that's the really nice thing about our square tool. Circles can be nice just to kind of draw maybe a fake out. You have your circle there. That's just basically for drawing. Ellipses are very similar to circles. You can open them up to identify key areas. And then you can use the path tool. Say you want to maybe forecast what the price might do. Maybe it'll keep climbing. Every time you click, you'll be able to create a new point in the market. And once you get to the top, you'll just double click, and that will be the top of the arrow. So your shapes are pretty straightforward, so hopefully that helps there. And here you can do some sort of notation. The one I typically use from here is the text. So you can type here. Just click on the chart and type, and then you can create your text. You can put it anywhere on the chart. You can change your size of your text, your font, etc. Color even. You can delete it out. After that, we're getting into more complex things. Let's see what the name of this is. These are patterns. So if you want to create some sort of patterns, so we have many different patterns here. Head and shoulders, triangle patterns. Let's see if we can find one we can create for us here. Okay, so here we go. We kind of have a triangle pattern. If you want to use some of these pattern tools just to kind of show somebody, here we go. So say we want to create a triangle. Let's see, actually, here we go. Personally, I do not use these, but you can see this triangle here that has been created. Once the triangle is broken out, you see that perfect breakout and bullish push from the triangle. Let's see here. There's Elliott wave combos. I'm not going to go over these too much, as they're mainly just drawing tools. The one below it, however, is one of the most used tools that I use, and that is the long and short position. So say let's see here, let's find a classic level of support that's broken. So say you go ahead and mark up this major area of support here. We have our touches for our area of support, and then once it was broken, we have our push upwards. Well, what if we didn't see this? We can even just use our replay button. What if we didn't see this? Well, what we could do is we could set up our potential long trade by clicking the long position button. And if I click that, I can then create my trade. So here in the green is the long take profit zone, and here's our stop losses zone. So say we believe that the market is going to go to the high of this resistance right here, the high of this candle, or maybe even the high over here. And then we want to choose a stop loss. I'll go into a smaller time frame here. We're on the hourly chart. So let's just do this very simply. Say we want our take profit. We'll use our horizontal lines. Take profit up here. And then we'll do our stop loss, say below this swing low here. Actually, we're going to want it a little bit higher maybe. Let's get a few more candles going on here. Okay, so now price action is getting up towards our entry. We're now finding a tighter stop loss. Say we want to enter this trade. Once this area of support is broken. So as the market plays out, we can keep adjusting everything to make sure that once this price is okay. Actually, let's go back a few. Okay. So let's play until we get the break. Okay, there we go. Here we go. We have the break. Say we want to create a trade and enter. Of course, this is just an example. Say we want our stop loss to be right under this push of this candle. It's not exactly the best trade. Sometimes I like to go greater than a 1-to-1, but let me break this down for you. So this green area shows what we would make if the price goes all the way up to the top of this. You can see right here, it's 3.61%. Or if you're looking at dollars, here is $785. Sometimes people use points, saying, say Bitcoin is $1 per point. Every dollar equals 1 point. That would be 785 points. Maybe this would be 78,549 pips. It's definitely depending on your broker, on how those are calculated. Sometimes I just use percentages. If I go down here, I can see my risk to reward. So it looks like if this trade goes correct, we'll have, this is 1.35 reward to risk. So for every $1 I risk on this trade, I could potentially gain $1.35. Not the best risk to reward. Maybe if I wanted to go to like a 2%, a 2. Then my stop loss might be here. Okay, so that's 2-to-1. There you go. So it says 2. So in this example, we'd be risking we'd be potentially getting 3.65% for a risk of 1.83%. So then if I click the forward button again and again, well, you see there it hit the top. Let's see if this actually goes through. Okay, there we go. So this would be a winning trade. So say our take profit was up here. We would have taken profit, gained that 3.65%, and then we wouldn't have lost. So that is the long position. Say we wanted to do a short position. So we're looking for something the opposite. Say we were looking for when the price breaks below this zone here. We would then use the opposite. We'd use our short position. We'd click that on, put our stop loss where we believe the market will not go to, our take profit, say it's maybe at the bottom of this support here. And there we go. So if we would have taken this trade on the break, maybe that retest, we'd be risking 1% here, 1.39%, to a potential gain of 8.4%. That is a 5.76 risk to reward for a short position. So I really like these tools to help us measure our long versus short positions. The next one down is these are just kind of icons you can put on. So if you say that this is the target area, maybe you'll put a little X on your chart as your target area. That might be showing somebody where you entered. There's many different symbols over here. The next is the ruler. This is the measure tool. The ruler works just like this long and short tool, but look at this. If I click my ruler and I go exactly to that same entry point, I click again and drag down, I will see that 8% again. Also, it'll tell you how many bars over, so this is 30 bars over from where I started, and that equals, since this is the 1 hour chart, that'd be 1 day and 12 hours of data. So it'll easily tell us how much time is in between this, what percentage as well. So I really like the measurement tool. Okay, I'm not going to go over too much of these. You can check those out, but the last one is just this garbage tool. You can remove the drawings, and if you have indicators, say you have your, let's see here, say we have 24-hour volume. If I want to just take off that, I can remove the indicator. And if I want to remove the drawings only, I can remove the drawings, or I can remove both. So now I have the drawings removed. All right, so there is our toolbar. Now, if we go to the right, we're going to skip some of these. These are just the time frames again. Here is a screener. Here is for scripts. This is a strategy tester, trading panel. We're not going to go through those in this call. But what I want to go to next is this side pane over here. So this up in the right-hand corner is called watch list details. So right now, my list has nothing in it. It's called watch list. If I want to create a new one, I'll go into, actually I'll go to this drop down and create new list. So once you've created a new list, what you can do now is you can add to your watch list what you'd like to trade. So if I click add symbol, say I want to add Ethereum in there, I can click Ethereum, and there we go. It is now added to my watch list. Say I want to add some futures in there, I'll add my S&P 500 E-mini futures, say Forex, we'll do Euro USD. I don't know, some traders trade a bunch of different assets, but usually a lot of traders stick to the assets that they are most familiar with. For me, it's cryptocurrency. So if I want to go to Ethereum now, all I'll do is just click on Ethereum. If I want to go to S&P 500, I can go ahead and just switch assets easily. Next over here is our alerts. We already went through that. We're not going to go through much of these because these are just kind of external things. This is where you can find news. Sometimes there's events on calendars, prepares your ideas, public chats, private chats. We're not going to talk about those. Ideas, notifications. So really, that's all I want you to pay attention to for now is our watch list and your alerts. So the last thing I'm going to go over on here is just how to set an alert on, we'll do a setting an alert or setting a trade up completely here, just using some of our tools. So let's go ahead and just look at Ethereum, and we'll start drawing up just a little demo here. Say we want to do support, resistance, trend lines. We're looking at the 1 hour chart. We want to set something up. So I'll use my horizontal array. Maybe I'll draw some support in. So there we go. We have our break up here. So that's a break of resistance. We have a test of this support, another test of this support, and then maybe we want to look for a short if this support is broken. So what I can do is I can now take my short tool and we can start setting up a trade. Say I know I need to set that my stop loss is above this little high here. So I'll set my stop loss somewhere above that. And then say I want to have my take profit at this next area, at this next zone, at the top of this next zone. So we have this zone here. I can even use my square tool to show that this is a zone. But we really don't need that for this example. So there we go. So I'm setting up this trade. Let's look at the trade. It's 1.4 to 1. You can maybe make it a little bit tighter to make it a 1.5 to 1 trade. If you trade on even smaller time frames, maybe you can get a tighter entry. It's all up to your accuracy, etc. So now that this parameter, say you like this, you're okay with a 1.5 to 1, you're okay with a potential 7.39% win to a 4.9% loss. So you take your trade accordingly, making sure that you can risk 4.9% of your capital. But when do we enter? Do we have to watch this chart all day long? Sometimes you can do that. But what I could do here is I can click my horizontal line, and then I can add an alert here. I can add an alert. So let's go ahead and add an alert. And this is going to add it exactly at the price that it's at. And it says Ethereum crossing only once. Good to go. Now I could say short setup. Okay. So now that alert is there at that 14.89. And what I can do is this bar comes up. When I click this, this bar comes up. And now I can edit this area. So I want to round this up to just 14.90. So now I've rounded that up. So that's nice and clean. I can remember that. I can even add text if I want to do this. Add enter short. I can even change the color. Say enter short will be red because it's a short trade. And then say our stop loss is up here. I can then say I can make this another red because it's our stop. Actually, let's make this orange. Enter short. I can make an alert here if my stop loss is hit. So now my alert is there. I can edit this to where I say stop. Enter short. And then maybe this is our take profit. So hopefully you're seeing here that you can make some nice annotations. I can add an alert to this to know when my take profit is hit. You can either put it down here or the alert name. And there you'll see that alert pop up. So look at this. This is pretty clean, right? So if we get this break, we will get alerted on our alerts pane. So you'll see it in your alerts log. Let's go ahead and pretend that we'll just make it trigger here. I'll bring it up to the current price action. So there we go. Short setup. I would get this alert. And then say we're on a different pair. I can then click this alert and it'll bring me back to our pair. So really cool. So that's what will happen when we get that alert. And then simply we can go in and take our trade, and then our trade will be monitored. We'll get a notification if our take profit is hit, and a notification if our stop loss is hit. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully this gives you an idea of the power of Tradingview. Those were just some of the features of Tradingview. You can go super, super deep, but these basics here will really get you anywhere. So I hope you enjoyed, and good luck trading.